Today we're in the kitchen of Iorio. It's a great Italian restaurant in Southeast Hawthorne, and we've got a treat. I got a front row seat for one of Chef Chris's cooking classes, and I better get going and stop talking because class is about to start.
Welcome to the cooking class. The way we'll do the cooking classes is very simple. It's 95% hands-on. The biggest thing is simple. You know, no dish should have more than 4 or 5 things. After you get that crazy, it's too much to balance, too much to have sweet and sour and salty and spicy and all that. The better your ingredients, the less you really should have to do with them. And the other thing to think about is layering flavors. If you look at, say, simple Italian food, you have a sauce that maybe has a little acidity, maybe has a little fat, maybe has a little richness. That's your base. You maybe have a pasta. That's your texture. That's your starch. That's your density. And then on the top, maybe a little pine nuts, a little pistachio, something for a crunch, so it's not all just soft. And then instead of just a dousing of cheese, a few curls of cheese or some chunks. So not every bite when you eat should have the same thing in every bite.
So let's go over making the tomato soup. It really looked pretty simple.
Pretty simple tomato soup. You have the saute of your base vegetables, your mirepoix. We did a white mirepoix, so we did not use carrot, garlic, onion. We used a little bit of the leek tops, the bottom stems for a little bit of flavor. And then you had your incorporation of herbs and your aromatics, and then just the tomatoes. And then we added in just a little bit of roasted pepper, since we're using canned tomatoes and we don't have fresh yet in the season, to just give a little more body and flavor and texture and mouthfeel.
And you really didn't cook that very long at all either.
No, we cooked it for maybe 5 or 8 minutes to caramelize, and then everything else just enough to bring it to a boil, and then just let it sit for probably a good 20 minutes.
Okay. And then after that, we blended it up, and it actually became more of a sauce than a soup, the way we use it, right?
Correct.
And we used, and what did we use it with?
We used it with the Carranza, which is traditionally an egg wash bread with savory seasonings and egg wash, and then fresh mozzarella that's seasoned, whether plain, a little bit of basil, whatever herbs you have.
Right.
So it's kind of an Italian twist on a grilled cheese and tomato sandwich.
But don't think that it's French toast, because it didn't taste like French toast.
Or a grilled cheese and tomato soup.
So next up was our pork dish.
With the pork dish, what we did was we showed them what an appetizer could be either with or an entree and full size. So we took dried figs, the brown turkey figs. We took a little bit of caramelized fennel and caramelized onions. So you had 3 different types of texture and a little bit of sugar between the figs and the onions. Fold them together just to make a nice compote where you get sweetness, but it's all natural. No added sugars. And then also we made an aioli that had, instead of lemon, we used orange, which gives it more of a vibrant, kind of sexy feel. And then we also put a little bit of saffron into it. So it has more of an empowered flavor, especially since pork is very kind of flat.
Right.
With the pork, we also did a simple brine, which is just a gallon of water, a cup of kosher salt, a cup of brown sugar, tempered, and then you're going to soak an average 8-ounce piece of meat for 30 or 40 minutes, and it'll give it internal moisture as you're cooking.
Then a quick sear, and we layered the flavors.
That's it. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Great. That was great. So the group took a little bit of time to warm up, probably because we were here filming. But you know, once they did, I mean, they really got into the groove of learning how to cook. For myself, what I really liked is that it was all the recipes. They were driven by technique, because technique seems to be so important. So that's what I really like. So what other classes do you have and types of recipes?
We do classes of everything from pasta, gnocchi. We do gluten-free classes, which seems to be a bigger and bigger need or importance nowadays, and a big point of interest for a lot of people trying to understand more about diet. We'll do classes about anything, whether it's seasonal, whatever they want to learn. This class was a little larger. Some people really get into it. Some people are a little standoffish.
So what about level then? The level
doesn't matter.
Level doesn't
From
matter.
beginner to ultra advanced is fine. You know, we'll kind of scale the class as I meet everybody and they enter, and find out where we need to be and what the demographic of the group is.
And you can do private parties
We can
also?
do private groups, company groups, things like that. Just contact us through the website, ioriorestaurant.com. And then we can also scale the class to what your group is, what you're trying to get out of it. But really the whole point of the classes is to learn and understand and be more comfortable with the technique.
Right.
anybody can learn a recipe.
No,
So-
I appreciate that. That was really great, and thank you. Cheers. And
Cheers.
here's
Salute.
a technique.